Support OPM. That sounds like a great idea. Ever since I started visiting the Philippines, I heard this everywhere. On radio, TV, on the internet. But after a while, something about it started to seem wrong. This phrase, support OPM, I felt like it started to lose its meaning. At first, that sounded awesome, but just used over and over again, I started to get the feeling that it was often used instead to really say, support me. So I think that there are 3 reasons to support OPM. And I hope that if you're going to use the phrase support OPM, that you'll pick one of these reasons or parts of all 3 of these reasons. Here are the 3 reasons that I think that you should support OPM. The first reason to support OPM is just because you love it, just because you really enjoy the songs. That's an easy reason, very simple reason to support OPM. The second reason to support OPM is to support the preserving of Filipino culture. This is an awesome reason, but I feel like it's often distorted. If you're going to support the preserving of Filipino culture, especially in competitions like Himig Handog or Philpop or any of the songwriting competitions or organizations that say they're trying to support Filipino culture through supporting OPM, then you should support all of the different dialects and languages in the Philippines, because that's one of the coolest things about the Philippines is all of these different languages and cultures that exist within the Philippines. A lot of these languages are kind of going away over time. I'm sure there are languages in the Philippines that were spoken 100 years ago that aren't even spoken at all today. So if you're going to support the preserving of Filipino culture, these competitions in songwriting should have songs in these different languages, in Chavacano, in Ilocano, in Ilonggo, in Bisaya, in Tagalog, and all of them, because 500 years from now, most of these languages aren't going to exist anymore. It's probably, honestly, better for the country, growth-wise, that more Filipinos are just speaking English, which they are. But in terms of preserving Filipino culture, this isn't a good thing. Writing very cool songs in the Filipino languages is awesome. And people will be able to look back 100, 500, 1,000 years from now and hear songs like Kanlungan and words like Dalampasigan that aren't used commonly anymore, or River Maya's LSC, and go, oh, LSC, okay, we don't use that word anymore, but that's a really cool song. So preserving Filipino culture shouldn't just be about what's happening in Manila or what's happening in Tagalog. It should be about all of these different languages. So if you're going to support OPM for cultural reasons, then think about it in a little bit broader terms. The third reason for supporting OPM is to help spread Filipino music globally, to help Filipino musicians have more opportunities to do songwriting with international artists, to perform with other international artists, to really make their voices heard. And the Philippines has one advantage that very few other nationalities do. Filipino musicians write excellent songs, awesome songs in English. The Philippines is one of the only nationalities that's not a Western culture per se, that actually writes great songs in English. Like Your Love, With a Smile, Before I Let You Go, Let Me Be the One, So Slow. There's so many great songs written in English, Forevermore, by Filipino musicians that could be giant hits if the idea was more looked at straight ahead and went, you know what? Let's support OPM in English. Let's make a competition in songwriting just for Filipinos writing songs in English, because that's a way that Filipino musicians can really be heard globally, because all my Filipino friends, they all speak English, perfect English. So it's just an awesome advantage that Filipinos have. Filipino music in English should be supported in the same way that you would support a farmer who's growing mangoes, who's exporting mangoes. You would want to support them to give more opportunities to make more farms, to have better products. In the same way, you want to support Filipino musicians writing songs in English, because they can export those songs and get their voices heard all over the world. So TV stations, I'm going to give you an awesome idea for a TV show that everybody would want to watch and would actually really help support Filipino music and international musicians collaborating with Filipino musicians. Why don't you do like what I did with my last album, Reimagined? I took classic Tagalog songs, classic Filipino language songs, and I translated them and reimagined them in English, so that everyone can enjoy these awesome songs, these great melodies, this cool meaning behind the lyrics and chord progressions. If there was a TV competition where Filipino musicians and international songwriters collaborated and competed to write the best English language versions of Filipino songs and then perform them in a competition, that would be amazing. Filipinos would love to watch that, and international audiences would love to watch that. Shout out to my friend Yang Constantino for recently recording her song Ikaw in Mandarin Chinese. That's the kind of progressive thinking that's needed. There's now 1 billion more people that can enjoy the song Ikaw because it's recorded in Chinese. So there you go, 3 reasons to support OPM. 1, because you just like the songs. 2, to preserve Filipino culture. And 3, to help spread Filipino music globally, which can be best done through writing more awesome songs in English. So let me know in the comments why you support OPM. Which one of those 3 reasons? Or maybe parts of all 3. Support OPM.